Iran launched 180 missiles at Tel Aviv yesterday afternoon in retaliation to a series of strikes.
It's currently 87 degrees outside and it's October. Are we going to see those fall temperatures? I'll have your full weather forecast in the show.
Coming up, find out who's got new music and what did Rob Schneider say about Mutombo's death. I've got your social media updates next.
UCO football is on a hot streak. Luke Underwood will have more in the show.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Ian Nickel.
And I'm Lauren Jackson. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Automation and wages are at the heart of a strike by tens of thousands of members of the International Longshoremen's Association against ports on the nation's east and Gulf Coast. But with the strike stopping the flow of several goods at ports from Maine to Texas, consumers want to know when it will start to impact them and their wallets. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at items that make it pricey if the strike stretches.
There's a big gap between demands of the International Longshoremen's Association and the latest offer from the United States Maritime Alliance, or USMX, which represents the major shipping lines, all foreign-owned, and terminal operators and port authorities. At issue, wages and automation at the ports.
They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs. Good paying jobs that support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes.
Some of the 14 ports involved, the massive port of New York and New Jersey, as well as Boston, Baltimore, and Charleston, South Carolina.
I'm confident that everyone that is involved in that on either end are aware of it and did whatever they could, but we cannot settle the strike between the carriers and the union.
Also Wilmington, Delaware, which declares itself America's largest banana port. That means bananas could come up short at the grocery store. And even though domestic farmers grow cherries, certain berries, and other fruits, they can't meet all of the nation's demand. Without imports to boost supply, prices could push higher. Raw ingredients like sugar and cocoa imports also at risk, as well as imported chocolate and alcohol. The good news for holiday shoppers, things like apparel, toys, and other gifts don't have a shelf life like food imports and can park in a warehouse for months. So when retailers saw a potential strike on the horizon, they rushed to get products delivered before the strike began. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Iran launched 180 missiles at Tel Aviv yesterday afternoon in retaliation for a series of strikes Israel has made against its allies. The Axis of Resistance is a militant group that are hostile towards the Israel and United States. No Israelis were hurt or killed, though one Palestinian man in West Bank was killed due to a shrapnel from a missile. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to strike back from Iran. Israel has responded by launching a small attack in an air defense system. U.S. officials are discouraging Israel from striking against Iran's nuclear facilities.
Police departments across the country are ramping up patrols in Jewish communities and places of worship after Iran's latest attack on Israel. The increased security comes as the Jewish high holidays begin on Wednesday and the upcoming one-year anniversary of the October 7th Hamas terror attack. Officials say the boost in security is out of an abundance of caution and is not based on any specific threats. Despite the lack of any known credible threats, officials say the possibility of so-called lone wolf attackers is among their most serious concerns. Rosh Hashanah, which is considered the Jewish New Year, begins at sunset tonight and ends at nightfall Friday. Next week, Yom Kippur, the holiest of the Jewish calendar, will be celebrated from Friday at sunset until nightfall on Saturday. National Jewish security organizations have also been working to identify any potential threats to houses of worship in the U.S.
Well, Ian, the weather has been hot.
Yeah, it's been unexpectedly hot. I was really hoping we get some cooler fall temperatures, but that wasn't in the cards this week, huh?
No, it really wasn't. With these hot temps, Gwyneth will have our first look at weather.
Thank you, guys. And looking at reflectivity, across central United States, we're not even really seeing clouds, not enough to cover the sky at least. It's kind of crazy because we're kind of in a drought zone right there, and we are definitely feeling it. We do have a front that's going to move down by Friday, though. That will bring a switch in winds for one day, and then those winds will go back to the south winds that we're currently feeling. As for right now, looking outside, we're sitting at 87 degrees and mostly sunny. It's feeling like summer out there. It's really not feeling like fall. As we look at our winds, we have southwest winds coming in at 12 miles per hour. That's what's making us feel like it's summer out there. And as we look at our humidity, it's pretty low right now, but it did start off pretty high this morning, and our UV is currently at 6, which is kind of insane for 4:30. As we look at our allergy index, we're going to have high allergies across the board. Tree, ragweed, and mold spores are at high, and then our grass is at moderate. You're definitely feeling that if you naturally have allergy problems. And if you're from Oklahoma, you're definitely used to this type of weather. As we look ahead, we're having south winds that's bringing up that humid and warm tropical air that's making it feel like summer outside. As we look at our Friday, we're going to have a front that's going to move down. That's going to switch our winds for one day, but then it's going to go back to south winds, and those winds will be high once it switches. That's when we could see fire weather warnings and stuff like that. As we look at these next couple of days, we are going to have 90s that are going to stay throughout the week, but then next Monday we're going to see 80s. We are going to see 80s, which will be amazing. And that's all I have for you guys right now. I'll have your full weather forecast later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. New York City Mayor Eric Adams could have additional charges added to his federal corruption case. Adams is currently facing 5 federal counts of bribery, corruption, wire fraud, and soliciting and accepting donation from foreign nationals. During a hearing Wednesday, the prosecutor said investigators have evidence Adams allegedly tried to tamper with a witness, calling it a significant instance of witness interference. Although the judge said he would not set a trial date, Adams' attorney said the defense team hoped to have a trial completed by March due to the timeline for next year's mayoral race. Next year's hearing is scheduled for November 1st. Adams pleaded not guilty at his arraignment last week as he said he did nothing wrong. On Wednesday, the prosecutor said that additional individuals may also be charged in the case.
Over in Pennsylvania, 2 former Penn State University fraternity leaders were sentenced on Tuesday following a 2017 hazing incident. Sophomore Timothy Piazza died after a hazing ritual, and his parents are speaking out. Bo Noltnow reports.
There are serious repercussions for hazing, and that you can't just blame the system. Individuals are the ones that have action.
And the leaders of Beta Theta Pi Alpha Epsilon Charter, President Brendan Young and Vice President and Pledge Master Daniel Casey, will spend 2 to 4 months in jail, followed by 3 years probation for their inaction in the death of Tim Piazza. In July, the pair pleaded guilty to 14 counts of hazing and 1 count of recklessly endangering the welfare of another person in the death of Hunterdon County, New Jersey's Tim Piazza. The 19-year-old sophomore died in February 2017 after a night of heavy drinking during a hazing ritual. That night, Piazza, with a blood alcohol level of 0.36, fell multiple times, including head first down basement stairs. Fraternity members found him unconscious, still and cold, and no one in the frat called for help for nearly 12 hours. Piazza died 2 days later, a result of brain injuries and internal bleeding. Parents Jim and Evelyn told the court the pair were in a position of leadership, but they chose loyalty to the frat over their son's life.
The governor called us yesterday afternoon while we were driving up here to offer his support. We've received emails from people that we don't know offering their support, and I just want to say thank you to them.
And in court, Tim's older brother Mike recounted how after Tim didn't return to his apartment, he found his brother alone in the hospital, unconscious, hooked up to life support, and that he told them he loved him, then called their parents. Daniel Casey stood and looked at the family as he said through tears that he wished he would have acted differently. And Brendan Young also addressed the court and family, saying he failed in protecting their son.
The world really was watching today. Judge Marshall did the right thing with what he was left with.
23 fraternity brothers in total have pleaded guilty to a variety of misdemeanors in the case. Young and Casey must report to jail on Monday.
Millions of students across the country cannot afford college without financial aid. On Tuesday, the Department of Education began testing a new version of a critical financial aid form known as FAFSA. Congress mandated the department streamline the application process to deliver more money to college students. But when the department tried to revamp its form last year, it caused more problems. Some students did not get the aid they needed on time for this current academic year. So the Department of Education is trying again. The 2025 through 2026 form is currently being beta tested to make sure it works properly before the department makes it public on December 1st.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, I love that fall weather, and I'm super excited for this financial aid form to get redone. As a college student, we know it is something we all struggle with, and I'm super excited for this revamp, and I'm also super excited for Halloween in this fall weather.
For sure. Hopefully it comes soon because it is still hot. When we get back, Gwyneth will give you your first look at weather. Don't go anywhere.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Looking outside, it's currently feeling like summer. We're sitting at 87 degrees. We do have some south winds coming up. It's kind of bringing humidity in our mornings, but we're currently sitting at 27% humidity, so not too bad. We're looking at upper 80s into 90s across the state. In the northeast part of the state, the National Weather Service has issued a grassland fire hazard, so you are going to want to look out for that because of those high winds, the temperature, the humidity. It's just a perfect mixture to cause fire conditions. As we go into tonight, we're going to be sitting at 66 degrees and clear. Our winds are going to not drop that much. We're going to be sitting at 10 miles per hour, and our humidity is going to go up overnight. So at about 10 p.m., we're going to be sitting at 48%, but then as we go throughout the morning, we're going to be going up to as high as 70%. As we look across the state tonight, low 60s, even into low 50s, so it's not feeling too bad out tonight, especially compared to what we felt today. But as we move into tomorrow, it's going to get bad again. We're starting off at 7 a.m. It's going to be 66 degrees and humid. That's what's going to hurt, is the humidity. The humidity, the sun, everything. It's not going to feel too nice. But at noon, that humidity kind of gets pushed out by that wind. It's kind of going to push that humidity further north, so we aren't going to feel it as bad. We're going to be sitting at 84 degrees, though, at noon, and it's only going to go up from there. At 7 p.m., we're going to be sunny and 90 degrees. It's really not feeling nice, and it's not feeling like fall. As we look across the state for tomorrow, low 90s into mid 90s, 92 degrees in OKC, 91 degrees in Tulsa. It's in the 90s. It's not what we want for right now, but it's what we have. And then as we look ahead, we currently have south winds that's bringing up all of that humidity, that warm air. We are going to have a front move down Friday, though, and that's kind of going to push the winds north a little bit for a minute, and then it's going to switch back to south, and it's going to be humid again. It's not staying for more than a day. Our 90s are staying throughout this week, but then next week on Monday, we do get those temperatures dropping. It's going to feel a lot better. We're going down to the 80s and then probably back up again if I'm being honest, but it is going to be a lot better next Monday. As we look at our 7-day, Thursday is going to be 94 degrees. It's going to be miserable. As we go throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be pretty bad, but Sunday to Monday is where that cold front moves through. We're going to see it drop down to 81 degrees Monday, which is a pretty big feat for us. That's pretty good right now because we're sitting at 90s, and that's not a very comfortable temperature to sit at. I don't know about you guys, but tomorrow, since it's going to be 94 degrees, what are you planning on doing?
Not being outside.
Yeah, that's for sure. I really
too
want to
hot.
watch spooky Halloween movies and act like it's cold outside and you use a blanket. What about you, Gwyneth?
Yeah, other than walking to my classes, I'm going to try to stay out of the heat because that UV is also going to be up, so it's just not going to be enjoyable today at all.
The low temperatures are great. If the low temperatures were the highs, that'd be fantastic, but unfortunately, that's not the case.
Unfortunately. Coming up, which Grammy winner has a fresh black eye?
And what did Trump say about his running mate last night? Jeremy Ramirez will have all that and more after the break.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit? Oh, it'll fit. I got that. All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jeremy Ramirez with all of your social media news. Material Girl Madonna announced she's back in the studio on Monday. The Queen of Pop shared a few new photos on Instagram, captioned "Back in the Stew with Stuart Price." One showing the American Life artist singing into a microphone with a MacBook rested in her lap. Another with Price throwing up playful heart signs into the camera. The music producer helped her bring to life Confessions on a Dance Floor, the superstar's 2004 chart-topping album. And we can't wait to hear with what they come up with next. Pitch Perfect star Rebel Wilson shared Monday that she's officially off the market. The Australian actress tied the knot in Italy with fashion designer Ramona Arguma on Saturday. In the Instagram post announcing their nuptials, the couple can be seen holding hands in Sardinia. Wilson shared with People magazine they initially met through a mutual friend, and their romance blossomed over time through heartfelt phone conversations. Congratulations to the newlyweds, and we wish you the best. Grammy Award winner Lorde shared a series of strange Instagram photos Monday, with a caption that's equally as puzzling. The first several photos, showing different shots of the musician with a bruised left eye, shared next to a cryptic caption. Another of the New Zealander smiling and admiring an ice cream sundae. She finished her post off with a shot of a lone gray embroidered hat. The star hasn't explained how she got the injury or what the caption means, but we hope she's doing okay, and Lorde has definitely left fans scratching their heads on this one. Former President Trump went live during the vice presidential debate on Truth Social yesterday. The Republican nominee first took to Instagram, inviting supporters to view his play-by-play on his own social network, at times praising his running mate while tearing down Waltz's performance, mocking the governor as Tampon Tim. After the debate, Waltz didn't ignore the jabs and attacked Trump's tax record by sharing a misleading tweet that does need context. On X, Vance didn't indulge in personal attacks, but blamed the current administration, posting "Americans are struggling." The vice presidential debate was live from New York last night on CBS and will likely be the only one before the election. Comedian Rob Schneider took to X on Monday, offering condolences to fans of NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo while voicing his own opinions. In the tweet, the hot chick star highlights a 3-year-old post where the former athlete encouraged COVID-19 vaccinations during the pandemic. The 60-year-old actor left rest in peace and added that he took a pass on the jab, saying he's sure this is just another coincidence. We reported earlier this week that Mutombo suffered from brain cancer and died at 58 on Monday. Our hearts go out to his family during this difficult time. Those are all the updates I've got for now, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jeremy. Where did UCO place in the MIAA standings?
And who is getting added to the UCO Athletics Hall of Fame? Luke Underwood will have more for you after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Hello, I'm Luke Underwood, and welcome to your Sports Update. The UCO football team is on a hot streak of wins with 4 straight wins to start the season. The Broncos are currently the #1 seed in the MIAA standings. The Broncos are the only team in the MIAA to be undefeated after the Emporia State Hornets lost last week to the Northwest Missouri Bearcats. The MIAA isn't the only rankings UCO is appearing on, as the Broncos are currently ranked number 17 in the AFCA and the D2Football.com's rankings. On Saturday, the Broncos will be traveling to Joplin, Missouri to battle the Missouri Southern State University Lions at 2 p.m. The UCO men's and women's basketball tickets are now on sale. The tickets are currently at a discounted rate as a part of their preseason promotional sale. The sale will end on October 15th. And for the fans wishing to renew their season tickets, they can contact the UCO Athletics Department. Basketball season will officially be underway on November 8th, with the Lady Broncos traveling to Saquon State and the men's team battling the University of Mary Marauders at the Hamilton Fieldhouse. So make sure to purchase your tickets now. UCO women's rowing team will be racing on Saturday to open their fall season schedule. They will be racing in the annual Head of Oklahoma on the Oklahoma River in downtown OKC. The Lady Broncos will be led by their interim head coach, Jimmy Francis. They will be racing 6 races, which includes 3 4+ and 3 8+ races. The UCO Hall of Fame banquet is 2 weeks away, and registration is now open. The event is scheduled for 6 p.m. in the George and Donna Nye University Center's Grand Ballroom. Central Oklahoma will be inducting the 2002 and 2003 national champion wrestling teams, as well as 6 individuals. Those individuals are Jeremiah Constant, Josh Creel, Pinky Hurley, Pat Corner, Taylor Needy, and Dean Chenault. Week 4 Monday Night Football has come to an end, and we had 2 major matchups. As the Tennessee Titans defeated the Miami Dolphins 31-12, and the Detroit Lions defeated the previous undefeated Seattle Seahawks 42-29. The games had a major standout performance, with Jared Goff completing 18 of 18 passes, which is the first time that has happened since December 18, 2005, with Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner going 10 for 10 with the Arizona Cardinals against the Houston Texans. The Lions will be in action in Week 6, facing off against the Dallas Cowboys after coming off their bye in Week 5. The Lions are going to be in a bye on Week 5, and they'll be back versing a hot Dallas Cowboys defense. Ian, Lauren, what do you think will happen at that game?
I think it'll be close. I think Detroit will probably edge it out, though. They have revenge on their mind after the game in the regular season.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, honestly, I don't know much, but yeah. I'm going to say I agree.
Hey, your Bears won.
Yeah,
they
my
did
Bears
win.
did win.
Bears did win. And when we come back, Gwyneth Duncan will have our last look at weather.
Don't go away.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
How much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, your friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the 3rd largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Tomorrow, we're going to start off 7 a.m. pretty humid. It's that south wind bringing up that really humid air. We're going to start off at 66 degrees, so not too bad until you're out there with that sun hitting you and that humidity. Just just a bad combination. As we look at noon, we're going to be pretty windy, pushing all that humidity out, and then at 7 p.m. it's going to get up to 90 degrees. So it's really not going to feel great. But then as we go into our 7-day, Thursday, we're going to be at 94 degrees. It's not going to be very nice out there. Friday, 91, Saturday, 91. It's just a bunch of 90s until we drop down into the 80s Sunday into Monday. That's when a cold front moves through. It's going to be a dry cold front. Really not going to get anything from that. But how do you guys feel about this hot weather? Because it's just not feeling great at all out there. It's feeling like summer.
Yeah, I'm personally not liking it. Like I said earlier in the show, I really want that spooky season. How about you?
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. And on behalf of all of our UCentral colleagues, I'm Ian Nickel, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.